Hi guys, it's Sophie. So this is the next of my around the world updates. It's really early morning, it's really sunny. It's been such a lovely week in the UK and I am filming at like 7:30. I've got my cup of tea because I'm running off to Exmoor to see my boyfriend for today because it's just glorious. But I wanted to update you guys first. So the first country I'm going to talk about today is Dominica. Now the book I have for Dominica is Till September Petronalia by Jean Rhys, which may seem like a strange choice, right? Because Jean Rhys is someone who was born in Dominica but moved to the UK, and probably some people think of her as a UK author. And it wasn't actually the book I chose for Dominica, and I had something else in mind, but when I researched the book I had in mind more, it turns out that author was actually from the Dominican Republic, and I had 2 Dominican Republics and nothing for Dominica, and I had read this. And I kind of ummed and ahed about it, about whether or not I should read this, and I thought, actually, do you know what, this is representative of an element of that country, and I've tried really hard not to read people who've settled in countries that sort of were colonised. But I kind of feel as though it probably isn't a bad thing to have like 1 or 2 accounts, even though I still want to keep the majority to the other, you know, sort of native people, I suppose. This is a collection of really short stories all about women. Some of them are set in the Caribbean, some of them are kind of unknown locations. Yeah, they're all kind of stories that have a sense of being kind of lost, I suppose, or misplaced, which potentially, you know, she felt with that kind of split upbringing, people talking about England a lot but her never really knowing what England was because she had never seen England. And I think these stories were a valuable addition to the challenge, even if they weren't what I was envisaging. I didn't particularly enjoy her writing. It's the first thing of hers I've read, and I don't know that I'm going to go to anything else urgently, at least. I just found them quite distant, and I actually preferred the last story, which was the shortest, which is just called I Used to Live Here Once, which is about a little child, but the kind of long meandering interactions between men and women I didn't really enjoy. And then next I have my choice for the Solomon Islands. Next one I have is something completely different, and that is Tale of the Tai Kongs by Epi Hau'ulfa. This one is set in, well, from Tai Kong, which is a tiny little island in Solomen Islands, and these are basically just kind of funny short stories about the culture more than anything else. There's a lot of digs at Western society and Western interventionism. Things like, I think they just call it the international agency, is someone who decides, they come here and they kind of try and make decisions and they're like, that's fun, but it doesn't fit with anything else here. And they kind of all find ways to get around it. So they're given these cows, and rather than breed them and try and make herds of cows, they're like, great, let's have like a island-wide feast. And it's just kind of that clash between Western culture and Pacific culture, and how often the aid that's given is just not even vaguely in relation to what the people here want to do. There is also a story where there's a man who's like playing the international aid trade, almost like a stockbroker, and is pretending and making all these committees to try and get more and more money. Yeah, it was really good. I didn't expect too much from it. It was a really hard one to find. It was the only one I could find, and like I thought it was going to be kind of children's booky, but it really wasn't. They were genuinely quite funny stories, and yeah, I've never read anything like it before, so I'm glad I got to that one. And then I have Chile. So for Chile I have Multiple Choice by Alejandro Zambra. I knew I wanted to read him, and Granta offered to send me this one, which is one that came out last year, and I said yes. Now this is a really strange book. This is a book in which the reader has to enter in their own responses in multiple choice form to the questions posed. So it's kind of an exploration of what language means to different people, and I suppose it tells you more about yourself than it does about, there's no kind of story. and I actually did it when I was waiting for therapy, which was quite a nice thing to do. And I've circled all mine in the book, and I've circled them in blue, and I think I'm going to go back in like 5 years or so and have another go in a different colour. Just like as an example, it's like a fill the word thing, so it says you are not blank, you are not blank, you are not blank, and the options are you are not good, you are not bad, you are not wrong, you are not wrong, you are not right, you are not here, you are not here, you are not there, you are not gone, you are not gone, you are not around, you are not mine, you are not mine, you are not mine, you are not mine, and you choose which one you think fits best. Really fun. If you like that kind of thing, do have a go. It's a really interesting concept. And then next I have my choice for South Korea. And I have I'll Be Right There by Kun Suk Shin. I really enjoyed this book. I gave it 4 stars. This follows a kind of trio of young South Korean students who form this really close bond. There is a romantic relationship between 2 of them and a really strange pseudo-romantic friendship between the other 2. Almost like a love triangle with this man at the centre. And they are exploring their lives together, the interrelations between them and the world in a way. But what's really clever about this is that it isn't placed specifically in time, and it isn't placed specifically within a political context. But behind their lives and behind what they're doing, there are these riots and these uprisings and this violence that they get caught up in and swept up in. And the author said she kind of tried to represent that whilst this is a particular time in South Korea's history, this is kind of an experience central to students in a way, and could happen in any country of the world. I really liked the relationships between them. I really liked the style. It felt very soft and almost film-like in a way. I felt as though the locations were really good, and I actually ended up throughout the book going and looking at certain places on Google Maps where they were, because it felt so immediate. But yeah, it was really good, and I'm definitely going to read more of her. It read much faster than the length of the book as well. It is like nearly 350 pages, but I read it in 2 sittings. Yeah, and I've heard good things about Please Look After Mother as well, so she's one I will go back to after Around the World. And then last I have my pick for the UK. Bit of a weird one. It's The Matter of the Heart by Thomas Morris. This is a non-fiction book about the 11 operations that made heart surgery into the science that it is today. I wanted to talk about this one because I have a few for the UK because I enjoyed this so much, and wanted to talk about it a little bit more than just a normal wrap-up. You guys know I'm really into my medical non-fiction. Really specific medical non-fiction is my bag, and that kind of ticked all these boxes for me. I would say it's not as good as The Unprovable Maladies, but it is kind of in that same vein. It is very much a scientist view of it. There's not too much from patients, and it's quite long. It's like 350 pages. But what this does that's clever is it goes through the heart itself, but also the philosophy surrounding the heart. So the sense that the heart is some sacred thing which contains life within it and contains love within it, and they kind of explore those ideas, as well as the medical aspects. Heart surgeons also, as I have learnt, and I didn't know this at all, are like, there's so many pioneering women who just didn't get credit. The BookTube meetup has decimated my battery. But yes, heart surgery is a field full of pioneering women. Unfortunately, lots of them didn't get credit for their work, but they do get credit here. And it just made me feel really proud and really glad that their stories were told, and that there were kind of discussions around the fact that if they didn't get something named after them, they really should have. And it just felt warm and fuzzy, and it was just such a good book. If you're interested in medical non-fiction, or the heart specifically, I think it's one that you'll really enjoy. Fairly whistle-stop tour there, because the battery has been dying throughout. It's died twice, so I will say goodbye. Hopefully you've enjoyed that, and I will see you guys soon in my next video. Bye!